Once upon a time, in a quiet village at the edge of a great forest, lived a kind and cheerful little girl. She always wore a bright red hooded cloak, a special gift from her loving grandmother. Because of this, everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One fine morning, her mother prepared a basket filled with fresh bread, sweet honey, and ripe berries. Grandmother was feeling unwell, and so Red Riding Hood was sent to visit her. Her mother gave one simple instruction: stay on the path and never talk to strangers. The little girl, full of excitement, promised to be careful and set off into the deep woods. As she walked, the forest seemed to whisper all around her. Squirrels darted from tree to tree, and tiny rabbits peeked curiously from their burrows. But Red Riding Hood was not alone. Hidden behind the thick bushes, a pair of sharp golden eyes watched her every step. Then, stepping out from the shadows, came a tall, sly figure, the big bad wolf. His voice was smooth, his smile deceiving, as he approached the innocent girl. He asked where she was going, and forgetting her mother's warning, Red Riding Hood answered. The wolf, clever and quick, hatched a plan. He suggested that the little girl pick some flowers for her grandmother, knowing it would delay her. As Red wandered off, the wolf wasted no time. He ran swiftly through the forest, his paws barely making a sound, heading straight for grandmother's cottage. A knock came at the door. Grandmother, expecting her dear granddaughter, called out. But before she could reach the door, the wolf sprang inside. With one great bound, he swallowed her whole and with a wicked grin, put on her nightcap and glasses. He climbed into bed, pulling the covers up to his chin, and waited. Moments later, there was another knock. This time, it was Little Red Riding Hood. She stepped inside and looked at her grandmother, or at least what she thought was her grandmother. Something seemed different. She noticed the unusually large eyes, the unusually large ears, and most of all, the unusually large teeth. Just as realization struck, the wolf leaped from the bed with a terrible growl. Before the wolf could harm her, the door burst open. A brave woodcutter stood tall in the doorway, his axe gleaming in the morning light. With a mighty swing, he drove the wicked wolf away, forcing him to flee deep into the woods, never to return. And from inside the closet, safe and unharmed, grandmother emerged. Little Red Riding Hood ran into her arms, and together they laughed with relief. From that day on, the little girl never strayed from the path again. And so, Little Red Riding Hood learned a valuable lesson: to always listen to her mother's advice and to be cautious of strangers. Her grandmother, safe and well, enjoyed the sweet treats Red had brought. And as for the big bad wolf, he was never seen again. And so, with the village at peace and the forest once more filled with laughter and song, they all lived happily ever after.